Hello everybody. Today I will compare two popular CMS uh, for Node.js projects specifically. One is Strapi and another one is Sanity. So the reason I'm comparing both of this is I have used both of these personally in my projects. So I just wanted to share this information with you. So I have a personal website. Here I have a blog. Most of these pages are actually static, so these are actually embedded directly. But for this blog I started with Sanity. So the reason I started with Sanity is it makes it really easy. It's really easy to get started, right? So we have a lot of templates. We have a bunch of templates. I am using Next.js personally. The documentation is nice. You can get started really easily. Pretty simple steps. You create a project, then the way it works, it works with schemas. So you have to create some schemas inside the schemas folder in the project that is generated. Then you define the model of your schema. For example, if you have an article, you will have a title, a description, a canonical URL, things like that, right? And after you define the schemas, the UI is automatically generated for you. So you don't have to basically do anything with the UI yourself. You are just writing the code and the UI is getting generated automatically. So it's both a good thing and a bad thing in my opinion. So let's see how it looks like for my website. So for my website, I have kept it really simple. I have two schemas. One is article summary, another one is article. So article summary is storing the metadata basically. So what you see here, the image, the title, description, date and tags. That's it for the article summary, right? So let's say this is an article, and some nice thing about Sanity is it provides lots of plugins and tools. These tools and plugins can augment your original application by a huge margin. For example, here you can say I can search images from Unsplash and Pixels directly. So I have integrated this directly. I have added a slug generator automatically, which generates the slug of the article from the title itself. I have added tags. This is a custom component not provided by Sanity, but it's one of its plugins and things like that. And yeah, if you make any change, you just hit publish and that's it, the data is stored, right? Also you have a you can use GraphQL, but they use a special query language, as you can see here. So using this query language you can query your data, which is really useful, basically just like an REST API or GraphQL API, so to say. You can call this on your front-end application and it will return you all the data that you need, right? So that is how Sanity is working. And also another ability is you can link between the articles, right? So link between different schemas. For example, here the title is coming from this article summary, right? So I can change it or replace it and things like that. We have a markdown content here. We are linking the related. So all of these are basically different plugins. So Sanity gives you nice flexibility, but the major benefit of using Sanity is it's really cheap. For example, let me show you. My personal website has roughly 13 to 14,000 users per month, and for those amount of users, those amount of visits, I am paying almost not almost, I'm paying nothing basically, right? So I'm on a free plan, which is I have not even added the billing details, and my blog is also free. I have not monetized it or anything. It's really generous in its free plan. So if you're starting with a really simple application, or maybe a portfolio applications, a simple blog, or you just want to try out a CMS, you haven't tried anything before, I would recommend Sanity for that, because it's really cheap, and most of the times you won't have to pay anything basically. So that is all about Sanity. Let's come back to the Strapi. So Strapi is another really popular, I would say more popular than Sanity probably, because of its flexibility. The main flexibility points are, for example, in Sanity, all of this data is stored inside the Sanity, right? If you go into your profile, you'll see there is a dashboard called datasets, right? So inside the datasets you have this production data, and you can create new even in public projects you can create two data sets, which is really nice, right? So you can have some private data sets as well. Now inside Strapi it handles data in a different way. So you're actually using a proper database here. So you can use MySQL, PostgreSQL and things like that. If you go to the database sections in their documentation, you can see there are a lot of database connectivities. So you'd need a slightly more technical person for this initially to set up the database and do everything. But if you don't want to set up everything yourself, and the second part is, so just like the database is, you can self-host, you can control where the images go. You can use S3 for that. You can control where the actual application is running, right? So everything is under your control if you choose to do so. But the problem with that is you have to be a slightly more technical person and understand how all of this are coming together, right? For example, I am using Railway for hosting the database. I'm using Render to deploy the application. I'm using S3 to store the images, things like that. So all of these things have to be connected initially. But after your setup, you're good to go. Because after the initial phase, it's really easy to use. Here I can show you. So I have just created a simple connection here, which is premium article. So let's say I want to create a new entry. It gives me a really good visual, I would say better visual than Sanity, and I haven't added any plugins here yet. So Strapi also has a lot of plugins, which makes it really helpful. Let me show you. You can basically control everything, right? You can use video uploader, SEO, ChatGPT, and document manager. Some of the examples, I'm just going through some random stuff. You can generate API builder, documentation, custom editor, things like that. So these things, I have found that customization wise, Strapi is more powerful. You can add authentication here as well, a lots of stuff. So customization wise, Strapi is really, in my opinion, more powerful than Sanity. There are a lot of plugins, good plugins I would say here. Now, the problem with Strapi. So the first problem we already discussed, that you need a more technical person to handle the initial setup. But after that, the UI is really intuitive. So after that, you don't need that much technical expertise. You can onboard your content editors and things like that. But when you try to deploy, there are two options. One option is this Strapi Cloud. So you can use this Strapi Cloud feature or service to automatically sync your GitHub project with Strapi, and it takes care of everything. It's really easy, simple. But the problem is it's not free. It gives you a 14 days trial, and then the minimum rate you pay is $99 per month, which is really costly, I would say. So here you can see for deployment you have two options, self-hosted and cloud. So for the self-hosted, it's saying free because you are hosting everything, so it's free obviously. And for cloud, you are doing Strapi is taking care of everything, and you are paying $99 per month after a 14-day trial period, obviously. So that is not suitable for me because I have not monetized my blog, so I earn basically $0. It's a passion project for me. So going with $99 per month to maintain a simple blog doesn't make sense to me. So what are the verdict? My verdict would be, if you're really building something serious which has a good monetary value, you have a budget to spend, and you think you will need some custom, really custom stuff, lots of moving pieces, authentication, multiple collaborators, things like that, go with Strapi. Strapi is really great in plugin ecosystem and nice UI and things like that. But if you're just starting out, you're not sure how your project will end up, if you haven't tried CMS before, I would say don't bother about Strapi. It's too much complicated for a start. So just go with Sanity on those scenarios. So thank you for listening this comparison. Share if you think something else, and subscribe if you like this type of discussion contents. Thank you. Have a nice day.